Hey guys, it's Cam with TekamoHD, and we're at the Engcon booth at ConExpo 2023. We're just going to do a little follow-up because we met them in Germany. We had some good conversations, and we've seen a couple of comments and questions from guys, so we thought it'd be a good time to do a follow-up for you. We like to show that, you know, we're listening to guys, and guys are listening to you, and the guys making the product are listening to your feedback too, right? So I'm here with Austin at the Engcon booth, and Austin's going to go through some of these comments, questions, concerns that guys have had. One of the biggest things we did have a question about, you know, the dirt in the couplers was one of them. Like, guys are always worried about detaching and all that. What are you guys seeing as far as like failures there? Any way to like mitigate failures? Is there any kind of, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I always take maintenance back to, you know, generalizing your PM servicing and looking at how you service your tilt rotator. If you look in any handbook for any OEM piece of equipment, it says that you're supposed to grease your machine every 8 hours.
Yeah.
Most all of them say that, right? When we take a look at EC oil connections, hoseless connections, we think the same about that. So if you're taking care of your equipment, you're not putting it in dirty or dusty situations, you're not putting it down in the mud when you set it down. I say come to the job, and as you're greasing your machine and checking over your hose connections that you may have or your engine compartment, that's the time to clean off those EC oil connections as well.
Yeah.
Throughout the day, if you're taking care of it and you're not placing it in a bad position, I don't think you're going to have to do that much more. You may change attachments 2 or 3 times during that day, but a little bit of brake cleaner goes a long way.
It's like anything. At the end of the day, you know you're supposed to wipe it. You got no one to blame but yourself if you're not taking care of that attachment. You know, it's a precision piece of equipment. It's not something it's not a rock hammer, it's nothing like that. You're gonna be taking care of those connections. And it's on you if it fails at that point if you're not doing your maintenance. Just like, you know, you're getting premature wear in a pin and bushing if you're not greasing it. It's the same idea. You guys are supposed to be taking care of your equipment. These things make you money, right? The other thing we had concern about was guys commented on they're worried about excessive wear in the slew, the swing drive, the gear. They're worried about broken teeth, that kind of thing from, you know, because you're grading, you're using your attachment in all kinds of different directions now as opposed to just traditionally going in and out, right? Guys are worried about like that premature wear maybe on the swing. You guys have been running these things for 30 years. Have you seen any accelerated wear in like the swing on the machine side?
No, because if you think about the mechanics of the actual machine, what you're looking at is they're tracking to the side and they have that grading beam out to the side or they have the bucket out to the side. Most of the time that's only the topsoil, right?
Yeah.
Or they're coming along the gravel. So very light material. It's not, it's similar to having like a digging bucket where you're really pulling through with the force of the arm.
Yeah.
All you're doing is tracking to the side.
Yeah, and you're not sticking a rock hammer on that thing and hammering sideways.
No.
Don't be an idiot, to be blunt, and do things that it's not intended to do. That's kind of a given, but hopefully that puts some guys' minds at ease about the question about like accelerated wear on the machine side. Yeah, some of the other things, so like product support, parts support, that kind of thing. Because you guys are based overseas, it's originally overseas. There's a lot of support in Europe for it. It's really big over there, the tilt rotators, all that stuff. It's new over here, so I think, especially where we're at in Canada, we're a little more isolated. Product support, parts availability for when things do break, because everything breaks eventually. So you guys have a network of like support technicians all over the US, and you're building it in Canada?
Yes. So as far as our local team here, we have Engcon North America, which encompasses the US as well as Canada. We have teams in both locations, so our current office in the US is in Connecticut. Current office in Canada is in Montreal. Inside of both of those facilities, I have teams that are working on both parts, service, and support. Engcon is extremely focused here locally under my direction to increase that staff and make sure that we are getting to every customer in a timely manner. We want to be, just like most other companies, the top customer service company in the world, so especially in the tilt rotator space. But we are working on that to increase our capacity from an internal standpoint as well as from an external standpoint. We have numerous technicians that work for us directly. We have numerous technicians that work for us as independent contractors who have been trained and work with us every day to find solutions for those customers, as well as do installations and other things. So I can assure you this, before the end of the year, you will see a great influx of more support from the technical side as well as the parts side in all of my offices, as well as all lower 50 states and in the provinces of Canada.
Nice. Perfect. Well, that kind of sums up a lot of the questions we've had. I want to kind of touch on that independent thing, just because I am an independent contractor. I've spoken to a few guys that are independents, and yeah, they're authorized, I guess you'd call it a service partner, right? So these are guys that how would you get a hold of somebody in that area? We would call Engcon directly and they would dispatch from there, or are they calling the contractor directly?
So if it's an in-con service, meaning that there is a issue that they would like in-con to solve on the tilt rotator, not necessarily the machine, they would contact in-con directly to one of our offices. Our support line would pick up the phone and we would schedule that service with them. Whether that be with a technician that we have in-house or a technician that we use as an independent resource, we are scheduling inside of our offices.
Nice. All right. Just a quick summary of the attachments, I guess.
So what we're showing here today in the booth to our right is going to be a EC214 on the 135 John Deere. We are showing it with many different attachments such as the sorting grab. He's got the hydraulic pallet forks on now. We've got cable buckets, compactors out there as well. A couple new products on the right side for the 135. They are concept products, but we do have a grapple bucket as well as new design on our digging bucket. Sitting over on the far end, we also have a hammer. It is not a design by us, but it is just for concept to be able to run on the coupler and be able to show the customers that we have full compatibility with our EC oil hoses connections to run anything. On my left side here, we also have a John Deere 85G as well as a Cat 306. So the 85G has our 209 to 9-ton rotator on it with a couple different buckets, grading bucket, digging bucket, as well as a timber grab. Pretty exciting. These customers, our customers here at the show for ConExpo, are able to run both of these machines. So we're putting customers in the 85 and the Cat 306. That Cat 306 actually has our new EC206 with EC oil on top and bottom. So that is something new for the North American market this year.
The sandwich coupler or whatever I think Anders called it, or
so
no?
All three of these are sandwich solution, meaning we have a coupler, a tilt rotator, and then a tools underneath. Yeah. But the exciting piece of the Cat 306 is that it does have the new EC206 with EC oil on top and bottom. So before, on the 206 model, we did not have EC oil throughout the system. Now we went to a short period of time where we had EC oil on the top of the rotator, but not the bottom. Now we have EC oil on top and bottom of that rotator. So just like the 209 and the larger rotators that you see here, now the small 206 has full compatibility with EC oil hoses connection all the way through the system.
All right. I spoke with Anders in Germany about this. You can buy blank attachment plates, so you can attach like different manufacturers' hammers, hydraulic attachments. As long as you know your plumbing and all that, you can pretty much put any hydraulic attachment on one of these machines, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not limited to whatever you guys sell.
Correct.
You know, you can do custom attachments and that too, right?
Of course, and you know, we just like every manufacturer, we are a little bit biased. We want you to, you know, buy the Engcon products because they are approved for the Engcon tilt rotator. However, just like the hammer sitting over to our right here, that would be a good example of a EC oil blank that we have on the top of a hammer. And of course, we don't manufacture that hammer, but they can fabricate that blank to go on the top of the hammer. And then you have EC oil hoses connection on any other attachment.
Well, it's a cool system. It's definitely something new for us. We don't see a lot of them, especially in Canada. And I mean, I'm excited to see more of this kind of stuff here. For us, Germany was a big eye-opener on all the different types of, you know, it's a different world over there. The stuff that they're using is, you know, it's night and day, right? So it's cool to see North America kind of catching up with a lot of that. And like I said, we're excited to see more of it. So we appreciate your time here at the booth, and thanks for showing us, going over this with us, answering our questions, answering their questions, really.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Well, that's the Engcon booth at ConExpo 2023. If you got any more questions, give us a shout in the comments, leave it there. I don't know when the next time we'll see these guys is, but I'm sure through their support network, you guys will have your questions answered. And yeah, we look forward to seeing more of this product out there.